Hey everybody, welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend. Your pre-orders are due Sunday around 9 o'clock, so don't miss out on that because we don't want you to miss any of the awesome comics that we're about to talk about. But head over to infinityflux.net right now where you can place your pre-orders. That way it is guaranteed to be there when you are ready for them. Or if you're far away, we ship them out to you.
Yeah.
But either way, you get the comics that you want. And we love comics.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this and we're about to talk about this. So let's get into our featured comics. Starting off,
Cable, Love, and Chrome #1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries written by David Pepose. The art is by Mike Henderson. And there is a high-stakes mission in the future that goes catastrophically awry that leaves Cable stranded in the dystopian city of Salvation Bay. And he's going to find himself caught in the midst of a civil war that will change his life forever. And the solicitation also kind of specifically makes a point of mentioning his techno-organic virus. I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with it or not, but it does say something like he's been battling this his whole life. And I don't know if that plays into it, but it might because, we haven't heard anything about that in a long time. But either way, we have a brand new Cable mini series of like regular Cable, old Cable, so like 90s fans. I know you're a big fan of older Cable, so this should be really fun.
It's interesting because a lot of times it's like Cable is from the future coming to the past.
Yeah.
But this is a story set in the future.
It sounds like it, yeah.
Like at least he goes back to the future or something.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. It's like, okay, now the tech is like, he's not high tech here. He's
like
regular.
He's like regular tech. Yeah. So this is our A cover right here. We have a logo variant, in case you don't know what Cable's logo looks like, and a Mark Brooks variant. And Mark Brooks has been talking about this on social media. He's been doing a bunch of what he calls deified, which is like he Disney-fies a lot of characters. And he said that he's been trying to put some of that style in some of his newer variant covers.
I can tell that it's not as overly rendered.
Yeah.
It's a few less colors and everything.
Yeah, a little bit more stylized and cartoony, but I think it looks great.
This too. It's like Mad Max Cable.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Okay, next up we've got Metamorpho the Element Man #1. This is a new ongoing series. Immediately when you see it, you're like, oh, this is a miniseries. No, this is an ongoing series by Al Ewing, and the art is by Steve Lieber. And Metamorpho the Element Man, is Rex Mason. He can transform into any element of the human body. So whatever that, they stretch that pretty far sometimes.
I think he turned himself into kryptonite once, and okay.
Yeah, whatever. But this sounds really fun. I know in the kind of interviews with Al Ewing and stuff talking about this, he wanted to create like a crazy adventure. Every issue is kind of a standalone adventure, feeling very classic 70s era comics.
Which, yes, sold. Yeah. I take my money now. I love that.
I got to preview some of the pages of this, and it even like the like introductory page and the final page have a very like classic feel to it as well, kind of the way the cliffhangers are set up and everything. So that's really, really cool. But in this, he's going to be going up against Cyclops, which is CY, then .C.L.O.P.S. Like stands for something.
Like an acronym, yeah.
It says the hairy eyeball of crime, which, there's maybe not too many people competing for that title. Gazes from on top of the pop charts to the lowest depths of evil. And when it mentions pop charts there, it's really hard for me not to say Pop-Tarts. Pop charts.
I love Pop-Tarts. Now I'm hungry.
Metamorpho could change into a Pop-Tart. Yeah. That what they talk about this is Metamorpho is a really groovy character. Like he has that very that like 60s 70s style and everything that I think very much like Ash from Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what you're going to get with this Metamorpho. He's going to be facing off assassins that are handpicked to go up against him and for his changing abilities. So it sounds like
they can match him change for change.
I don't know, it sounds really fun. It's going to bring back his classic character, Simon Stagg, which is his boss he works for. Simon Stagg's daughter, which is a big character, and oftentimes his girlfriend. plus the caveman bodyguard of Simon Staggs. All this stuff is just so much fun if you've never read any classic Metamorpho. But I read an interview, and if you've read some of his Thor run, he kind of alludes to this is a lot like the Roxxon Presents Thor.
Okay, that
The
was
tone
fun.
of that,
Yeah, that was a lot of
with
fun.
60s vibe
Yeah.
and 60s vibe, but with like kind of modern storytelling. So I think this is gonna be awesome. If you want a fun comic with great kind of classic feeling art and everything, don't miss out on Metamorpho.
And if you
Number
want
one.
some other fun Metamorpho stuff, you can check out the story arc that featured him in Batman Superman World's Finest from
Yes.
about a year ago or so.
Mhm.
That was really fun too.
So I love Metamorpho. I can't wait for this. So we've got our A cover here by your interior artist Steve Lieber. We have an Erica Henderson variant. We've got an Ian Bertram cardstock variant. And a
Uh,
Fico Ocio all in variant, which I love. He looks awesome
yeah.
here. I'm always wondering, like, is his head like made of like tooth material? Is he like a like if he's changes to elements of the body, like what
I don't
is
know.
he going for? What part of the body smokes like his feet do? But I don't know. This is gonna be really really cool.
Well, next up we have New Champions #1. I don't know if this is going to be a mini series or an ongoing, but this is written by Steve Fox and the artist by Ivan Fiorelli. Lately, I think he's done a lot of artwork in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So this, I know it's going to look good. And this is about your okay. So these characters were originally only seen on the New Champions variant covers from several months ago that just showed at the time they were just like hypothetical sidekicks. It was around the time when Spider Boy
Spider-Boy,
came
yeah.
out, and they were like, "Oh, well, what if every hero had a teen
Like a
sidekick?"
secret sidekick
Yeah,
type thing.
and it was just like concept. It was it wasn't anything major until now. So now those characters are actually going to exist in the comics. Some of them have already appeared in the pages of Spider Woman.
Yeah, and the Hulk girl is going to be in
In
Spider
Spider Boy,
Boy.
yeah. So this isn't necessarily the first appearance of all of them, but it is going to be some of them. I think I just don't know which
Probably
ones.
the majority of
Yeah,
them.
but so basically, this is a team of 8 young characters, 4 of whom had their lives derailed by Hydra. There is Scarlet Witch's mysterious protege. There is a cursed roller derby jammer, and there is a Wakandan runaway. And that's your team, I guess, for on the outset anyway. But what do these kids have in common? Not much. But when Hellrune's powers, and I don't know if Hellrune is one of them or
I
not.
think Helliday is the one in the center, the Scarlet
Oh
Witch.
yeah, okay. Well, her powers bring them together. When that happens, they're gonna have to learn to work together as a team very quickly, or face the wrath of the cult of Hela, which I'm not sure what that is,
Mm-mm.
but I guess we will find
Kind
out
of
in this.
horror adjacent, maybe.
Yeah, but actually been reading the Young Avengers Omnibus over the last couple weeks, and I love the champions from Mark Waid, that era. So I'm riding high on young teen heroes right now. So I can't wait to check these guys out as well. It should be a lot of fun. So this is our A cover. We have an Art Germ variant. Oh, that's her name's Amaranth.
Okay, so maybe
So
it's
yeah,
a
I'm
different
not sure
one.
who Hellrain is. There's a Vincentini homage variant.
Which is to the Mark Waid
Yeah, to
Champions
Champions.
#1.
There's a Luciano Vecchio promo variant, which that looks really cool. See, there's more than 8 right there.
Yeah.
So like the kid Juggernaut, he is currently in a Marvel Infinity comic.
Is that J2?
I'm not sure.
The early 2000s.
I don't think so. I think it's
Okay.
different. But Spider Boy's on there
And
too.
there's the Magneto girl, which
Yeah.
she's on a variant cover, and she's on a variant cover of New Champions, I think for maybe issue #2 or #3.
Okay. There's Hulk Girl right there.
So
So
I think maybe you start off with a smaller cast,
yeah.
but maybe build it up as it
Yep.
goes.
There's a Paco Medina variant. There is a Peach Momoko variant, and there is a Rose Besh variant.
Very cool.
Yep.
That I like that character's design. I
Mhm.
like the lights and
She
the
was
blue
the Ghost
light.
Rider one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she roller skates.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have another new one from Marvel. This is Rogue Savage Land #1. This is going to be by Tim Seeley and Zulima Lavina, which I looked up. She was the artist on Hexware, that kind of like cybertech witch book from Image that she did with Tim Seeley.
Oh, okay.
So fantastic art. This is going to be one of your series that takes place like kind of a lost chapter from a particular time in Marvel's history. This time being during the X-Men run in the 90s, where Rogue lost her powers, was in the Savage Land, had a kind of a romance with Magneto at the time. All of that. That's where this is going to take place. But it does say, a lost story from a lost world. So you kind of get the idea of when this takes
It's
place.
like one of their retro series that they do a lot of. Yeah.
Which is going to be really cool because Tim Seeley has really been hyping this up. I love Tim Seeley, and he said this is going to be something fresh while honoring the impossibly sexy and epic classic tale of Rogue and two of the weirdest allies, Magneto and Kazar. So this sounds really cool. I love the Savage Land.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, on occasion they'll use it. Sometimes it'll be like we take a field trip to it or something. But I just like the whole aesthetic, maybe from like the X-Men animated series and all of that when they did Savage Land. So I love to return to here. I love this era of Magneto and Rogue. So this is going to be really, really great. I can't wait for it.
When I was first getting into reading lots of comics, like in '91, one of my first X-Men stories I read was Marvel Fanfare. It was a trade paperback with Marvel Fanfare, like 1 through 4, where the X-Men go to the Savage Land and Spider-Man's there too, and he gets turned into this big spider. That was one of my first ever X-Men stories. So yeah, I go way back.
From like it was one of like the first story arcs after Giant Size, I think, where they go to the Savage Land.
Oh, it could have been, yeah. That's one of my, so I love the Savage Land because it takes me back to when I was first starting to read.
Yeah.
And why don't they mention Zabu?
I know Zabu and maybe Shauna is going to be there. Who knows? But Zabu is a fully fledged character.
Absolutely, he's great.
So we've got our A cover here. We also have a Adam Hughes variant. Now this one is going to be foil. Ooh. And it says like please inquire about the price. I think it's $10. Okay. That's usually how these prices work. I believe that's what this is going to be. We also have a J. Scott Campbell variant, which is awesome. And look between her legs. Yeah. There's Nick Fury.
Hey, watch where you're pointing that gun there, Nick.
But yeah, so I mean, Nick Fury, classic Nick Fury, is also super cool. I love how Zabu there looks like Battle Cat.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. We've got a animation variant from the recently X-Men 97. Mm-hmm. We also have a Nick Bradshaw variant. A Olives Vatine variant. And a Russell Dodderman design variant. So I think this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Rogue is one of my favorite X-Men characters. It's such a cool style choice to do. When this came out, I started to sketch like what would other Savage Land characters like? What's Savage Land Daredevil look like? All this stuff. We need a whole universe that's like Savage Land.
Yeah, for sure.
Avengers.
All right. Well, next we have a new Deadpool Wolverine book. This is Deadpool Wolverine #1, and this one again, I'm not sure if this is an ongoing or a miniseries, but it's written by Benjamin Percy. The art is by Joshua Cassara. And when a fan favorite villain is unearthed, and I don't know who it is, but the solicitation says it's a fan favorite villain.
Unearthed is
like are they buried? Are they resurrected? I don't know. But when that happens, the only thing that stands between Earth and annihilation is Deadpool and Wolverine. And it says that we're going to see a new side of Deadpool and Wolverine, and also whoever this villain is, as an ages-long plan comes to fruition. And we are told that Deadpool and Wolverine are going to be put through their paces in a series that's chock full of surprises, twist reveals, and a villainous plot that'll turn long-term and newly arriving X-readers' heads. So this one sounds like they're shooting for the moon here. So, we've had a lot of Deadpool Wolverine books and stories over the last several months since the movie came out. So we'll have to see how this one measures up to those. This is our A cover. We have an Andy Park Marvel Studios wraparound variant, which I'm guessing that was his concept art for Hugh Jackman in the brown suit in the movie. Why wasn't that suit the whole? I love that suit. That should have been the whole thing. There's a blank cover. There is a Dolly variant. There is a Doodle Pool variant, and there's a Joshua Cassara gallery variant where it's very Ferris Bueller, where he's looking at the painting and having a lot of introspective.
Next up, we got Sam Wilson, Captain America #1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. Of course, we all know why this is coming out. We've got the movie coming out with this kind of specific cast of characters, but nonetheless, it's going to be awesome because we are finally getting some more Red Hulk back. So this is going to be written by Greg Pak and Evan Narcisse and Edgar Messias on art. And in this, Sam is attending a birthday party for Isaiah Bradley when he learns of a new tech venture of magnificent floating platforms in the sky where disenfranchised can apply for land grants and establish their own farms. But whatever the kind of foundation or organization that is doing this, of course, Sam discovers they have a dirty underbelly. They're doing this for nefarious reasons, and he'll have to tangle with their head of security, which is Red Hulk. So I think this is really cool. It looks like maybe Storm's going to play into it. Patriot's going to play into it. I think this sounds really cool. Even though, it's kind of lining up the characters from the new movie, I think this is going to be a really cool standalone miniseries.
Yeah, and I'm double excited now because, again, I've been reading the Young Avengers Omnibus, so I'm riding high on Elijah Bradley right now.
Yeah.
And I want to see more. I want to see more Patriot. And the new, we were flipping through well, there it is right there on the back. We're getting a new Red Hulk series, miniseries, I think. But yeah, so we're finally getting back to Red Hulk. We haven't seen him in a long time, so
yeah, cannot wait. So this is our A cover. We also have a Corey Smith homage cover with basically none of the characters that are appearing.
Yeah,
in this book.
It says it's not the final. Oh, not the final trade dress. Okay.
Not final trade dress, but okay.
Sure.
We also have a Marco Cicchetto variant, which I love that one. I'd love to see him on a Red Hulk book.
Oh, he's ripping off his wings. I just noticed that.
Oh, that's pretty sick. We also have a Mr. Garson variant, a Portaccio homage cover, and that's it for that one.
Oh yeah. Well, next up, there is a new series coming out called "What If Galactus," and each one of these issues is going to be a one and done story of what if Galactus transformed. Take your pick of Marvel heroes into his new into his new herald. One thing we forgot to mention at the beginning of the show is this. So this week has a double dose of Marvel on it. So we are ordering for 2 weeks worth of Marvel. We're ordering for books coming out January 1st and January 8th. So we forgot to mention that up at the top of the show. The reason I mentioned that here is because there are 2 of these books on FOC this weekend. The first one is this one. What if Galactus transformed Gambit? And in this one. We know that Gambit is the most capable thief on Earth, and it's his thieving skills that draws Galactus's attention towards him. So Galactus gives Gambit the power cosmic. He makes him his herald, and with that power cosmic flowing through his veins, will Gambit be clever enough to steal the unstealable? I have no idea what it is that he's going to steal, but I guess he wants. I want to see what he does with his cards with the power cosmic. Maybe he can fly them around or something.
Black Cat would have a problem with him being considered the thief.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good thieves in Marvel.
Yeah. So this one is our A cover. We have a Galman variant, and there is an homage variant to Tales to Astonish number. I can't tell the number, but that's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. And then we have What If Galactus Transformed the Hulk, number 1. Now, this is going to come out on January 8th, a week after the Gambit one. And this one, Galactus taps the Hulk to be his herald. But what's going to turn out to be Galactus's bigger mistake in doing that? Trying to direct the fury of the Hulk or giving the mind of Bruce Banner a cosmic problem to solve? So it sounds like, it's not going to be just Hulk. Bruce Banner's going to get that cosmic power too, and what is he going to do with it? So that should be really cool. I think the other ones are, the later ones are what if he transforms Spider-Gwen. There is a Rogue, I think, and I can't remember who the other one is. So I think it's going to be 5 issues total, but each one is its own story. But those ones come out later. We'll talk about those on a later show. So this is our A cover. There's an homage cover. I'm not sure what that's homaging.
That looks like a Window Shades variant, but okay.
Yeah. There's a Miller variant. There is a Platt variant. That one looks great. Awesome. And a Ryan Brown variant.
Galactus is so cool.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Ultimates number 8. We wanted to spotlight this issue because this is going to be your first appearance of the new Ultimate Guardians of the Galaxy. I would not be surprised if after this they get their own spin-off series or something after this. We don't know a whole lot about this team. Is it going to be like a 1-for-1 of the characters? Is that your Star-Lord?
No, because I'm pretty sure the one with the white hair is the Ultimate Nullifier.
Interesting.
But personified. But that's I remember reading that now. I think it's him. I think it's the white hair person, Ultimate Nullifier.
Okay, see that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Plus, it looks like you've got maybe Cosmo there or another
Yeah.
space dog. I don't know. It just sounds really cool. I can't wait to see what this version is. What I do really like about this new, I mean, I like a lot about this new Ultimate universe, but I feel like with the original Ultimate, it was basically the same characters,
Yeah.
just, let's update their style,
Yeah.
update their origins. This is, let's take the names or the essence of that character, but what else can we do with it? And I think Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be, because it's almost like they're doing Ultimate Guardians of the Galaxy, but the original Guardians of the Galaxy, not like the Abnett Lanning movie versions. This feels more like the original. So we'll see. We'll find out all their names, all that cool stuff. But it does say that they have come from the future seeking America Chavez for some reason. What does she have to do with it? Not sure, but I can't wait to read it and find out. We've got our A cover here. We have a Ariel Diaz, which this gives me Captain Marvel vibes, especially the suit, and seems like a Kree, so we'll have to see that character. And I did want to mention that we are getting, that's not Ariel Diaz, that was the Inyuk Lee. I was looking at a later book. And we also have Volume 1 of the Ultimates coming out close to the same time. So if you haven't been reading it, you can get all caught up right here with volume number 1, which is going to be $24.99.
Next up, we have Justice League Unlimited number 2. Number 1 comes out next week, so we will be talking about that on Monday. Andy and I both read issue number 1 several weeks ago, and I'm willing to say right now it's my favorite single issue of any publisher of any book all year long. I love Justice League Unlimited number 1. So, but we definitely want to go ahead and put this near the top of the show because I think you guys are going to love Justice League Unlimited number 1 as well, and you're definitely going to want to pre-order number 2. So this one, a strange alert brings the team to the jungles of South America, where they make a horrific discovery. Can the Justice League save a village? Save a village where they're at from total slaughter? On top of that, the mystery of the Darkseid heir deepens. So we know there's some Darkseid died in the All In special. We're going to be seeing some ramifications from that in the New Gods book, which we both read a couple weeks ago, and it's really good too. And we're also going to get a little bit of that in here as well. Plus, there is dissension in the ranks that forces Batman's hand, and I wonder if there's a little something at the very end of issue 1 that maybe feeds into that maybe that's related to. So a phenomenal series. This is different members. Every hero is in the Justice League at this point, and there are different members that get dispatched to handle whatever mission that they need to go on. On this one, it looks like Superman, Mary Marvel, Batman, Blue Beetle, and Martian Manhunter.
In the first one, you will see Batman teamed up with Blue Beetle, which I think is where maybe this storyline is from.
Yeah.
But you'll have to read it to find out what that all is about. But I want to point out, too, the title of this looks almost identical to the animated show Justice League Unlimited, which I think is awesome. What that says to me is fun. Like, hey, we're here to, this is going to be super action adventure, all that, because that's kind of what that original series was. So I think that is a great direction to take that.
Yeah, and even on the inside cover of the first issue, you open the cover, it has like the credits page. There's pictures of the heroes there, and they're glowing like how they glow in the opening credits of the cartoon. So trust us when we say Justice League Unlimited is awesome. If you pre-ordered the first issue, please go ahead and pre-order the second issue. Or if you're just thinking about getting issue 1 off the stands next week, please go ahead and pre-order this one now because I'm telling you, it is awesome. So this is our A cover by Dan Moore. There's a Simone DeMeo variant. There is a Mike Deodato Jr. variant. There's a Ariel Colan wraparound variant. There is also a Derek Chu variant. And there is a Fico Osio wraparound raised UV foil variant. And these are going to be allocated to stores. So
get your orders in.
Get your orders in now, and we hopefully will have enough if there are that many pre-orders.
Interesting on that one too. Red Hood up there with kind of a little bit of a different look.
He doesn't have his hood on.
He doesn't have the hood.
He doesn't have his mask or anything.
It's just red domino mask.
Yeah.
And you've got Trinity down there.
Oh yeah.
Next up, we've got Absolute Wonder Woman number 3. Number 2 comes out next week, which we haven't read that yet, so I'm very excited. We had read number 1 so long ago. I'm so excited to check out number 2. We've got some hints and stuff about what is coming with this kind of first story arc. So in this one, issue number 3, Diana's true enemy is revealed. The Tetracide arrives, and if Wonder Woman doesn't stop it, all of Gateway City will be destroyed for good. We don't know, but so I believe the creature that she fought in the first issue was the Herald of Tetracide.
Oh, okay.
Because
Is Tetracide maybe the upside down pyramid thing that was flying around? I don't know.
But I'm interested to see, because this is so different than your classic Wonder Woman in kind of look. Plus, it says enter Steve Trevor. Now, I'm wondering about this because Kelly Thompson did mention that issue number 2 will be your first Steve Trevor. Yeah. Issue number 3 will be your first Barbara Minerva. Maybe not as Cheetah yet, but the character. So we'll have to see. Probably after we read number 2, we'll know if Steve Trevor shows up there, then how that lines up. But I think this is really cool. Each of these issues for the first story arc is also going to have a flashback that's going to kind of, there was a lot of questions from the first issue, and as the issues go on, the flashbacks and stuff are going to kind of solidify the story. We're going to learn a little bit more about, like, why was she left, in hell, all this stuff. How did her growing up, like, how did she get all these skills? All of that kind of stuff is going to be explained over some of these flashbacks, which I'm really excited about. I think it's really cool to see the full origin of Wonder Woman. So we've got our A cover here. We've got here's the Ariel Diaz variant that I accidentally said.
Which that one looks great.
Yeah, very cool. And so don't think that with issue number 1 you've got, like, okay, I understand this Wonder Woman. For what Kelly Thompson says, there's going to be some really big surprises through this first story arc that's going to, like, she said, I think in an interview with Scott Snyder on his Substack, she said, like, there's something that happens that I have to keep reminding myself that people don't know. That's such a, like, key part of the story, but that, don't give it away, but it's, like, something that's going to be really important to this entire series. Yeah. So I'm excited. I love all the surprises and everything. We also have a Chuma Hill variant as well.
Next, we have Daredevil Unleash Hell Red Band number 1. This is going to be a miniseries, but I'm not sure how many issues. Probably 5.
Probably 5.
This is written by Erica Schultz, and the art is by Valentina Pinti. And it says that there grisly crime scenes start popping up across Hell's Kitchen, and all signs point to an impossible perpetrator. Not really sure what that means. But we know, in the current Daredevil series, Elektra has kind of become estranged from Matt Murdock. And so now it's up to her to get the grisly truth about these crime scenes, if she can stomach it. These are all going to be. This is another one where it's only Red Band, kind of like the Werewolf by Night right now. There is not a regular version. Blade too. So it's only Red Band, and it sounds like maybe it's going to be pretty gruesome, because even if Elektra can't stomach it, then it must be pretty gruesome. So yeah, just another cool new Daredevil Elektra miniseries. This is our A cover. There is a Hans variant. There is an Opania variant. There's a Swaby variant and a Tan variant. Philip Tan. I like his stuff.
Yeah. Next up, we got other number 1s, because there's still more coming out. So first off, we have What If Mickey and Friends Became the Fantastic Four. Not a whole lot here I've got to explain. Much like the this week's What If Minnie became Captain Marvel. We've had the Donald as Wolverine. This time, it's Mickey and Friends as the Fantastic Four. So this is by Riccardi Secchi and Steve Bailing and Lorenzo Pastrovicchio. Kind of your team that's been doing a lot of these. Mickey, of course, is Mr. Fantastic, Minnie, Invisible Woman. Goofy can burst into flames, and Donald turns into some kind of rock thing. And their first mission will be to stop Mole Pete from destroying Duckburg. So I like how Pete just gets, like, typecast as the villain in all of these.
Yeah.
He was Scorpion in one of them. He's going to be your main one. But this is also going to be the origin issue. It's going to explain how they got their powers and all of that. I think it's kind of a retelling of Fantastic Four number 1.
Yeah.
because that was a Mole Man story.
Did
So.
you say that this? You weren't sure if this was a because they've all been one shots.
Yeah, I think this is a one shot.
Okay, because I was gonna say I think it is too, but the solicitations for February haven't been released until right here. So I was looking through this real quick just to see if there was a number 2.
I don't think.
But yeah,
I don't
think
all
there
these
is.
have pretty much
Yeah,
been one
yeah.
shots. So we've got our
Yeah.
A cover right here. We have a really cool Nick Bradshaw variant.
Yeah.
We've got a Phil Noto variant.
I love Donald Duck being the thing. Something about that is perfect. Yeah, right.
The frustration he feels. We've got a Scotty Young variant. And we have a Chrissy Zulo variant. And there you go. You've got that classic Fantastic Four #1
that big monster coming out.
Giganto or whatever his name was.
Oh, was it? Did he have a name? I don't remember.
Yeah, he has a name. I just know because he's in the Marvel Snap game. But yeah, but you know, they actually didn't have their costumes in the first issue.
That's true. Well, actually.
Yeah. But this is gonna be great. All of these have been so much fun, and this is another great one to add to it.
All right, so now I think this is our first non-Marvel DC book that we've talked about all show so far. This one is a new book from Image called Dust to Dust. This is written by J.G. Jones and Phil Bram, and the art is by J.G. Jones. This is set during the Great Depression. There are these towering dust storms that blast the Oklahoma panhandle, and farmers are trying to flee the failing town of New Hope, but no one gets very far. So right off the bat, this sounds like a very depressing setting, a depressing era of history. And this is about a guy named Sheriff Meadows, and he's got his own problems that he's dealing with. He's battling his own demons, and he teams up with Sarah, who is a traveling photojournalist, in a desperate fight to stop a serial killer on the loose, the death that rides the dusters. So I don't know. Yeah, this sounds like it's the dusters, I'm assuming, being like these big dust storms that come. So I don't know if maybe like there's a killer that follows these dust storms that uses the chaos of those storms to kill people in various towns. I don't know if that's what it is or not. But I love like period pieces like this, and you know, Great Depression, World War II era. I love that era of history. So this sounds like it should be a really cool murder mystery, I guess. So this is our only cover as well.
Next up, we've got a special. This is the Gargoyles Winter Special #1. Going to be a one-shot by Greg Weisman and Nate Cosby with art by George Kambatis. And it's called Bronx's Silent Night because the Gargoyles awaken to New York being covered with snow. It's a winter wonderland. But when the family is separated, Bronx goes out and finds that there's a family that has been kind of dispersed because of the storm, and he has to help find the different members of them before they get trapped under 10 feet of snow. So just a really fun, not necessarily Christmas special, but winter special, cold weather special for Gargoyles.
I forgot to tell you, I talked about this one 2 weeks ago when you were out. So the FOC date on this one has been pushed back to now. But if you pre-ordered a couple weeks ago, you're still good. No worries. It's just that you had 2 extra weeks to order.
You just set me up to look like a fool.
I forgot until...
I look like a fool.
I should have been away. No. They can, if they want to know this, they can just go back to the 2-week-old video. That's what I should have done.
Well, there's also variants for this.
Yeah.
So this is your A cover. We also have a Combatus, that's your interior artist, and a Forster variant, which looks like he's hanging out with some of the Feral Cat.
Yeah, those are the actual characters from Feral.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not just like random cats. Like that's them. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Well, next up we have Behemoth #1.
I actually talked about this 4 years ago.
Next slide.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, this sounds really cool. So this is written by Grant Sputor and Ryan Engel, and the art is by Jay Martin. And so this is about a giant monster that attacks a city, very Godzilla-esque, right? And this monster swallows a bus full of civilians. And it sounds like at least this first issue is going to take place inside that monster's belly. Cool. There's a woman in the bus who has to fight for her life. You know, like I said, everybody inside the bus is trapped inside this giant monster, and Sarah and her fellow passengers soon find out that they're not alone. What dangers lie within the belly of the beast, and who or what will they have to contend with in order to survive? So sounds like there might be some other stuff that this big giant monster has eaten, and now those things want to eat the humans inside the belly. It sounds really cool.
I have to see where this is going to end up.
Yeah, they all escape Out the back. Yeah.
Out the back door.
Wow.
From one end to the other.
Yeah, so it sounds really fun, and this is the only cover.
Next up, another holiday special. This is Vampirella's Helliday 2024 special.
I did not talk about this one previously, so
Okay,
you're good to go.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm in the clear. This one is going to be really cool. It's by Frank Thierry, and the art is by Mariano Benitez Chapo. And it says Vampirella has faced many horrors, of course, demons and her own family and all of that. But she ever faced the naughty list?
Uh-oh.
Because Vampirella is going to face the Scourge of the North Pole. It looks like that's an elf down there that she's going to be dealing maybe with Santa and some horrible elves. So another really fun one shot for the holidays with Vampirella. We've got our...
That's very copper tone. With the little,
so we got our A cover here. We've got a Linsner variant and a Dan Panosian variant. Of course, being Dynamite, there's a billion other covers. Check out the website, infinityflux.net, to see them all. Mm-hmm. Next up, we got notable 2s and 3s, because other series are continuing, not just number 1s.
Yep. We have Black Canary, Best of the Best number 2. Number 1 comes out next week. We had a preview version a while back. Did you read it?
I did not. I skimmed through it.
Okay,
but
I haven't.
I
haven't yet read either. But we will be talking about issue number 1 on Monday. And in this one, the crux of the series is that Black Canary basically faces off against Lady Shiva, and it looks like they're in an actual ring, like this is an actual
it's like
event.
A televised event.
Right. And so apparently in the first one, Black Canary has a disastrous first round against Lady Shiva, but her mother returns to help train her. I don't think we've seen the original Black Canary in forever. So you can see like young Dinah Lance and then her mother there too. So that's going to be cool to see her come back.
Or is that her looking in a mirror seeing herself as older? Because her mother wore a wig as Black Canary.
That's right.
Little Black Canary's wearing, I think, her mother's wig.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, okay. Well, we'll find out for sure.
Find out.
But yeah, number 1 comes out next week, and number 2 is on FOC this weekend. This is our A cover, and there is a Lyrics variant also.
This is one of my most anticipated books because I love Black Canary.
Yeah, I love Black Canary.
Ryan Sook on art, Tom King. I think this is going to be a great, solid miniseries.
Yep.
Next up, we have DC Horror Presents number 3 of 4. They're really spreading this book out. The first one came out before Halloween, and we still have another issue after this one. But this one is by Francesco Francavilla and Patrick Horvath, and it only tells you about one of the stories here. About Adam Strange brings a parasitic dirt to Earth from Ran. And I'm guessing that's going to start some kind of infection or something. And
it bonds to Spider-Man.
But the first issue was great. We're still waiting on the second one. They should just make this an ongoing and just keep it going.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's like this is exactly like Creepshow, but just with DC characters. So if you like Creepshow, check this out. And keep it going, DC. We'd love to see more stuff like this.
There's no reason to only make this a miniseries.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to run out of stories.
Right.
So this is your A cover, and there's also a Francavilla variant with kind of vampire Batman.
Yeah. Anytime Francavilla and horror books go hand in hand.
Yep.
So next up, we have Green Lantern Dark number 2. Number 1 came out a while back. Actually, kind of feels like by the time this comes out, it feels like there will have been more than a month between the two issues. But this is going to be a 7-issue series. This is number 2. And in the first issue, Green Lantern, this version of Green Lantern, because this is an Elseworlds book. This is not like Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner running around. But this version of Green Lantern in the first one ousted Solomon Grundy from the town of Lantern's Light. And now that she did that, other people are starting to come to her for help with other things. And in this one, there is a desperate mother from the thick New England woods seeking reinforcements against the ferocious beasts that stalk the streets of her home and steal children under the cover of night. So, this is set.
Like something is killing the children.
And this is set in a world where the heroes tried and failed to stop this big crisis. So now the world is dark, and this Green Lantern is one of the only heroes left that can bring light back to the world. So it's all very dark and very moody. But sounds like she's going to be taking on werewolves or something. So this is our A cover by Werther Dell'Edera from Something's Killing the Children. There's a Murakami variant, and there is a Dustin Nguyen variant.
Next up, we got Hornsby and Halo number 2. Number 1 comes out next week. I'm very excited to read this one because...
Ghost Machine.
Yeah, Ghost Machine hasn't missed.
Right.
They've all been fantastic. This one is going to continue, so we don't know all the details about this series so far, but we'll know next week. But as it says, after the previous issue, the two, Hornsby and Halo, try to reconcile with the astonishing beings they became the previous night. I think the series starts out where they're just normal kids, but they don't know that they're like the son and daughter of heaven and hell.
Or that they've been switched.
Or they've been switched, and I believe that probably happens in the first issue, and now this is kind of the fallout from those abilities they've discovered. So, and I like that she has a very Ghost Rider like motorcycle and look and everything. But I'm very excited to read this one. I love Tomasi, and this the way he writes young characters is the best. Plus, he just knocked it out of the park with the Rocketfellers.
Yep.
So yeah, this is going to be a win. We've got our A cover here. We've got a Gary Frank variant, which I love Gary Frank, and we've got a Chris Burnham variant.
Well, next up is all new Venom number 2. Number 1 has not come out yet, and it does not come out next week. Next week is Venom War number 5. So next week we're going to wrap up the Venom War. I think maybe we're going to see our first appearance of this version of Venom. We don't know who the host is going to be. So we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves with all new Venom, because I don't remember when number 1 comes out, but
it's we ordered it a while ago, but I think it's still another 2 or 3 weeks away.
So, but the gist of all new Venom is that after the Venom War, there is a new host wearing the Venom symbiote, and we do not know who it is. We know it's either Robbie Robertson, Rick Jones, Madam Mask, or Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, yeah.
We know it's one of those 4 people, but we do not know who yet. And it sounds like we're not going to find out in issue number 1 or this one, because in this one, AIM is on the hunt for this all-new Venom, and they're joined by a group called the Symbiote Squad. And Dylan Brock searches for the new Venom host, and that puts him on a collision course with Madam Mask, which may or may not be the new Venom host. We don't know. The mystery of who the new Venom is deepens when one suspect is eliminated with extreme prejudice.
Maybe Madam Mask.
Maybe, and I did read in the new previews book from Marvel, number 3 is in here as well. It doesn't sound like we know by number 3 is either, but I do think another suspect is eliminated in number 3. So it sounds like maybe by the end of number 4 we'll find out who the new Venom is. But yeah, it should be a fun ride, and it sounds like maybe they're not going to be doing so much cosmic King in Black space god stuff. It sounds like maybe this might be more a little street level. So this is our A cover. We have a Cam McCauley Fantastic Four. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it's a Fantastic Four homage. Or it's a Fantastic Four cover homaging a Spider-Man cover on a Venom book.
Yeah. Why Fantastic Four?
I think they're doing just Fantastic Four month or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But
so
sure.
there's that one. There is a David Parator variant. There's a Cam and Coley connecting variant, and there is a NetEase Marvel Rivals variant from the upcoming Marvel Rivals game.
Next up, we got Star Wars Battle of Jakku Last Stand number 2. I believe this is the last miniseries in this Battle of Jakku maxi series. It's very weirdly structured, but in this one, it just says that Luke, Leia, and Han are reunited, but under dire circumstances. So we're still so far out from this one. We've got an issue every other week. So we'll have to see what's going on when we get there. But we've got another issue coming out this coming week that I will fill you in on Monday. So this is your A cover. We have a really nice Terry Dodson variant, which Han with a beard.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Just very cool. And we also have a Lee Garbett variant as well.
And next up is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto number 2. Number 1 came out this week. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I love the artwork. The artwork and the colors and everything were great. In this one, while the Turtles introduce Naruto and his friends to the Big Apple Village where they live, because again, this is set in a world where the Turtles exist in Naruto's world. It's not multiversal stuff. It's just they already live there. So while they are going around the Big Apple Village, the Foot Clan sees another opportunity to steal the secrets of the ooze for themselves. We saw a little bit of the Foot Clan in the first issue, not too much. So this looks really cool. Naruto right there looks very Goku. He standing there like Super Saiyan, and he's like glaring. This is our Jorge Jimenez cover. This is our A cover, and then there's a Prosecha variant, and that's your interior art. So the inside of the book looks like that, and it's awesome.
Next up, we got cool covers, starting with Action Comics number 1081, and this is the finale of the Phantom story that Mark Waid's been telling. But I really like this Fico Ocio all-in variant. This time, Supergirl gets the spotlight.
Yep. Next up, we have Batman. Sorry, I'm making my notes. Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns number 5. Number 1 comes out next week, and this is a weekly series,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I love the way that they've paced this because this issue comes out December 26th, so the day after Christmas. So from now till Christmas, we're going to have every week, we're going to have a cool new Batman Silent Night returns. This is the final issue, though, and there's 7 heroes that enter the mysterious castle hold of the Hollow Kingdom to face a test of true spirit and will. That will probably make more sense after next week, and we will talk about number 1 on Monday.
Next up, we've got Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, number 4. So each of these issues is drawn by a different artist. This time it is Cliff Chiang, which I can't wait for. So this is the Cliff Chiang variant cover. I like how Robin has to hold it up a little bit higher. And there's also an Ian Churchill variant as well.
Next up is Flash number 16. We're going to talk about number 15 next week. The West family, they are still vacationing in Skartaris, which is where they started in number 14. But something causes serious seismic shakes at the center of the Earth, and the Flash and his family are going to have to try to figure out what that is. So this is our Daikuran cover, and there's a Chrissy Zulo Winter Wonderland variant. We saw a few of these last week, and we're going to see some more in the next couple weeks.
Next up, we've got just some really cool Harley Quinn covers. So this is for Harley Quinn number 46. We've got a David Nakayama cover where Harley is a male person. We've got a Fornes variant, which is really cool, very like detective novel.
Bruce Wayne is going to have a lawsuit on his hands. So
yeah, well, he needs to, he's busy and he's not really paying attention to his employees. We also have a Chrissy Zulo variant for the Winter Wonderland variants. And there is a David Nakayama artist spotlight because right now, or for this month, is going to be an artist spotlight on David Nakayama.
Yeah.
We'll have variants for quite a few things. We saw some last week and some this week.
Next up, we have Power Girl number 16. We wanted to show you this awesome Miguel Mercado variant. In this one, Ejecta's secrets have been exposed, and Power Girl now has everything she needs to take her down once and for all.
And next up, we've got Superman number 21. This one actually sounds really, really fun. Not like every issue, this is not fantastic. But Superman and Lois plan an epic date night. What could go wrong other than a massive alien armada bearing down on Earth looking for revenge on Superman?
Yikes.
That's the only problem.
Yeah. Other than that.
It's easy peasy.
Yeah.
So we've got our Jessica Fong cover, a Dave Johnson cover, which, I mean, how great are these spring shoes to leap tall buildings in single bound?
I'm sure they work.
I would buy them. We've got a Chris Sandy variant.
I love that.
I mean, these are all so good. And a Chrissy Zulo Winter Wonderland variant as well.
Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 65. This is going to be part 5 of the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man storyline. Part 2 comes out next week. In this one, Spider-Man faces off against the 5th scion of Sidorak, whose name is Sira, who has the power over death itself and makes Spider-Man watch everything he loves die.
Oh my gosh.
So that sounds horrible, and I can't wait to read it. This is the NetEase Marvel Rivals variant, and there is a Scotty Young 8 Deaths of Spider-Man variant. I've been getting all of these because these are great. Every one of these is showing a way you could kill a spider.
Yeah.
Except it's Spider-Man instead of a spider.
I like around him is like comic and a Joy-Con from Switch and
like
stuff.
Skittles and things.
Yeah, these are fun. Next up, we've got the Avengers number 22. Just want to show you this really cool Walsh Captain America Sam Wilson homage variant. And in this one, Black Cat joins the Avengers for a cosmic caper. And we also have this cool homage to Captain America 111, the classic Stranko cover.
Next, we have Uncanny X-Men number 8, and we just wanted to show you this Chris Giarrusso connecting variant because there's other ones of these that sort of make up the Jim Lee cover from back in '91, but done in Giarrusso style. This is the final issue of the Raid on Grey Malkin 4-part crossover with the regular X-Men book. Rogue and Cyclops are on opposite ends of the mutant struggle. That's kind of what the whole story arc is about. But it says this is an all-out action issue that will affect both teams and the entire mutant community with devastating results.
Next up, we have Wolverine number 5. And this one, it says, who or what is adamantine? which I believe is the thing that we've seen infecting different characters and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
It might actually become personified in this one. So very interesting.
I would prefer it if Adamantine were his teen sidekick. Adamantine, yeah.
That would be with 2 E's.
Right.
But this is the David Yarding Captain America homage variant. Very cool. And there's a Godtail variant, that's like back when Wolverine had his hot claws.
Yeah.
Next up, we got graphic novels and more, and there's some really good ones this time. Starting with...
We have the Batman by James Tynion Omnibus Volume 1. This is going to be $125, and it collects Batman from James Tynion's run, number 86, which is where his first issue of that, through issue 105, and a lot of the other Joker War stuff. And, of course, his run went on past that, so we might get a Volume 2 with all of the Fear, the City of Fear, something. I don't remember the story, but this is the Joker War stuff, I believe. So, yeah, Fear State. Thank you. Holy cow! But yeah, so if you like the James Tynion stuff, this is where you get Punchline, Miracle Molly, Ghost Hunter Maker, Ghost Clown Killer, Clown Hunter.
You remember this run really well.
Yeah. So I liked it, and you know, it had a lot of great art and great colors and stuff. Yeah. So it's all in one book. $125.
Next up, we have the DC Finest Harley Quinn Birth of the Mirth collection. This is really cool. So this is by Paul Dini and Bruce Timm. This is going to collect your kind of earliest appearances of Harley. So you've got Batman Adventures number 12, her first comic appearance, Mad Love number 1, plus a bunch of early Harley Quinn adventures from the Legends of the Dark Knight and Batman and all of that stuff, to kind of flesh out that early Harley stuff, which is so fun. Definitely when they were trying to figure out this character. They knew she was popular, but it's like, okay, let's...
They're like, oh shoot, she's really popular. What should we do with her? Yeah.
So this is going to be really great. And a lot of this stuff is not really collected easily in a lot of stuff, especially like Legends of the Dark Knight. Like that's...
Or if it is, it's all over the place. Yeah. You have to go get a bunch of different books.
So all of the Harley stuff collected in one for... $39.99.
All right, so next up is Daredevil Born Again, the Marvel Premiere Collection. So I don't think we've talked about these yet before, and they haven't come out yet. So this is a new format that Marvel's doing. It's called the Marvel Premiere Collection, and it's basically their version of DC's compact comics. These are smaller in size. They're going to be $14.99. I'm a little bit confused though, because Marvel already does the Mighty Marvel Masterworks, which is a smaller version, and they're like $15 or $20, and they collect. So this is different from those though, and there's going to be a bunch of these that collect a bunch of key Marvel stories, and the first one they're going with is Daredevil Born Again, which is one of my favorite stories ever. Frank Miller's Daredevil is some of my favorite comics ever. So this is actually Frank Miller's second run that collects Daredevil number 226 through 233. So this is, if you've never read Born Again, this is a great way to do it. Like I said, it's going to be a little smaller than your standard comic size. I don't know how it relates to the compact comics, if it's big or small. I think they're a little bigger than the compact comics, but smaller than a regular size comic.
Interesting.
I think. So they're kind of in between there. And it's $5 more than the compact comics, but still, Born Again for $15 is a great way to do it. And yeah, that's it.
Next up, we've got a second printing of Rocketfellers number 1. It's sold out at the distributor level, so that means no more first prints unless your store still has some in stock. I believe we probably still have some in stock because I ordered really heavily on this because I believed in it and it's awesome.
It's very good.
It's very, very good. So if you missed out on it, go to infinityflux.net, get you a first print, but also here is the second print of it you can get as well.
And we wanted to tell you that Absolute Batman number 1 is getting a 4th printing, and that's awesome. So we wanted to show you the covers. This is a Nick Dragotta. There's a Simone DeMeo variant. There's a blank sketch variant. And then there is a Nick Dragotta inks foil variant. And that was the cover to the 3rd print foil.
Second print. I think that was that the number 1 second print, but it was in color.
Maybe. One of them.
The 3rd print comes out next week.
Right.
So, still rolling them out because that's probably also going to sell out as well.
Yep. So, yeah, 4th print for that. And number 2 is getting a 2nd printing. And we've got a Nick Dragotta cover. And that's one of the panels in the book. And I love that they took the captions off the panel, the caption says Batman AF in the book, and
Yeah.
that's so cool. So that's our A cover. There's a Dustin Nguyen variant, and there's Dan Panosian foil variant, which was a regular variant on number 2.
Right.
And now it's going to be in foil. So yeah, number 2 is getting a second print. Number 1's getting a 4th print, and I see these going more printings as well.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty soon we'll start making our guesses of how many printings we think it will go to.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a lot.
They did say that number 1 was the best-selling book of the year so far.
Yeah.
300,000 or 400,000 copies, or I think it was 400,000 copies.
Yeah, like 450 maybe,
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, but no surprise there because it's amazing.
It's great.
So if you missed out, what are you waiting for?
Yep.
And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head over to I almost said at infinityflux.net. Infinityflux.net. That's the web
website.
address.
Yeah.
www.
https://
Yeah. Infinityflux.net.
/ index dot.
It's super easy if you don't have an account there. It's free. You can immediately start ordering these books. So what are you waiting for? If you're a subscriber already, you know how to do it. You go in there, place your pre-orders for all of these awesome books so you don't miss out on them, because I can assure you a bunch of these are going to sell out. You need to get your orders in by Sunday around 9 o'clock so you don't miss out on those. But thank you so much for watching. Again, let us know in the comments what you are most excited to read. We'd love to check out those. Love getting your comments. Do we have a live show coming up? We have a live show.
Our next live show is next Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. So we would like to know, what are you thankful for? Maybe like in the nerd realm. Everybody's thankful for their family and food and stuff, but like comics and movies and stuff. Like, what are you thankful for? We would love to talk about thankful stuff next week.
Plus, Justice League Unlimited #1 will be out, so we'll be talking about that a little bit more in depth as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, next week is huge, so be sure to watch our show on Monday, because we're going to be going over Justice League Unlimited #1, Absolute Wonder Woman 2, Superman #20, Iron Man #2, Black Canary #1. Like, holy cow! Next week is ginormous. You should see the boxes in our back room. There's more than I think I've ever seen for 1 week. It's going to be awesome. Next week is huge, so please come back to watch all of our stuff.
Absolutely. So, until then, until next time, see ya.